I'm Michael David Sims, creative director of MDS Actor Studio, and my next guest is a fascinating individual. His experience in marketing is unparalleled. He's one of the youngest creative executive directors of a Fortune 500 company. He's a board member of the Harvard Advisory Review, or Review Advisory. He headed up one of the top film schools in town, and he is also was the president of Casting Workbook until he decided to launch his dream of having his own agency. He's one of the most forward-thinking individuals I've ever met, and if you're an actor, you're going to find this interview fascinating because I personally believe he is going to change the face of agenting in this town, and it's long overdue, by the way. My next guest, Christopher Ian Bennett of Hectic Artists. We're here today with Christopher Bennett, who is the CEO of Hectic Artists, who's also my agent, by the way.
And proudly, very proudly.
This is kind of a get to know you in depth. I did just a little bit of research.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I've found, especially when I'm dealing with agents, or actually anybody in the industry, is that most of you have a start as a performer somewhere in your background. And I did learn that you graduate from Lester B. Pearson School for Performing Arts?
I did.
At 13 years old.
I did. But that does good research. Well, that doesn't mean I was a performer.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, it's a very special school that to this day is considered among the premier performative arts schools anywhere in Canada for elementary. It's a real incredible school. You had to go through quite a process to get into this school. I went in when I was in grade 4. You had to major and minor in something artistic. So I took art and string music, and I played the cello for many years. There you go. Yeah, I was not any good. Don't get excited. I was not any good.
No jam session?
No, and it was about as big as me. So I'll tell you, lugging that thing home in an Ontario winter was like all I needed to go. I need a smaller instrument. But it was a wonderful early exposure to dramatic arts, performative arts, music, art, all of that. So I had a really unique education in that they prioritized art and the arts over, even English, math. So we had a heavy concentration, which was unique at that time. And it's been going for, 25 to 30 years, that school.
So was it something your parents geared you towards? Or?
Yeah. Yeah, there was a big news this was happening, and it was I'm from London, Ontario, and so my parents said, "Hey, would you want to try out for this? Would you want to do it?" And I don't think anyone called me necessarily. I was a creative kid. I enjoyed those things in school, but it was one of those. Why not? I didn't think I would get in. I didn't think they would take me. I don't think my parents did either. I think they were really surprised by that. So. That's where I got my early education and exposure to all that stuff.
So none of that made you want to go farther with the performing side of things?
No. I had been around sets. The school had really the facilities were second to none. Like what you would see at an elementary level would shock you how incredible the budget for this school was. They spared no expense in putting together a really top tier, the art rooms, the music rooms, the dramatic arts rooms. You learned about production, you learned about, theater production, stage production, on set, all of this stuff at a very young age. So I was really interested, I think, more in the business of it. I think it always appealed to me. But, if you don't want to be a performer, and this is the big conundrum, I think, for this business, is there's really nothing to do after that. There's really no school to go to become an agent or to become a producer. You can kind of happenstance through into directing and writing but again, often through performance, front of camera stuff. So I had that seed had been planted early, but I wasn't able to do much with it for a long time.
Okay.
And my creativity manifested itself in the political world for while writing speeches, and then in the advertising world and marketing and entertainment.
So after the Lester B. Pearson, what was next? You were kind of getting the idea that you were a businessman or interested in that side of things. So where'd you go next with college? I know you graduated from
Trent
Trent.
University.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, great school. I went there and studied for 3 years, and then after that, like most people, didn't really know what I wanted to do. I had a
Hmm.
lot of stuff I was interested in, um, and I enjoyed writing. I'd taken a creative writing class,
Huh.
and so I got into speech writing for
You
politicians.
said earlier.
Yeah, and so I did that for quite a while, I worked for the Deputy Prime Minister of Canada, John Manley, and I worked for senators and members of Parliament and ran campaigns and was really engaged in that for a long time. And that communications aspect led itself to marketing and advertising, where I had a lot of crossover and started doing that for many years. And then ultimately, I became the executive creative director for a company called T-Mobile in the
I
U.S.
heard about that. That
Yeah.
was benchmark stuff. You got mentioned Fortune 500 or something
Yeah,
like
yeah. I
that.
was the youngest, which is crazy, but I was the youngest ever executive creative director for a Fortune 500 company. I
Amazing.
think that record, somebody's got to beat it now. I think I was 36 or 37 or something, but it was a great experience. And I worked on, again, behind the camera, was very involved in a lot of the television commercial work. So it all came back around, right?
Ah,
And I really loved being on set. I liked writing commercials. I liked producing them. I liked working with the actors and the directors. I worked with some really big celebrities. And, when you've got a budget like T-Mobile,
oh my.
it was a real playground. And
Yeah.
we created an entire in-house studio there. No one had done that before, called it Yellowfan Studios.
Hear about that.
And that was really, really cool. And then ultimately, we were in Kansas there, and then I got the call from Vancouver Film School, and they said, "Would you come up and help us launch a more globalized brand and really help project the school bigger?" And I said, "Absolutely, I'd love to come back to Vancouver." And we did. And then I did that for a few years, and then I took over casting workbook.
Now, okay, you're way ahead of me, which is great. I was going to ask you how the VFS link came, and then it was casting workbook again, someone who rang your phone.
Yeah, yeah, it was through, again, the exposure to the business. What could be more exciting than working with the world's top film schools? Unquestionably. I mean, an amazing animation, top in the world. Their film program, unbelievable.
We don't want to
The
talk about their training program, do we?
Probably not. But they, like all schools, I think they're really struggling right now since COVID. But what an institution of
Yeah.
talent, just churning out great talent. And that was fun for me to work with future filmmakers and actors and
Hmm.
directors and writers. And so that opportunity was too good to pass up. And then through that experience, I had a lot of familiarity with everything going on at Casting Workbook,
Yeah.
got to know them and Susan and that team. And I had wanted to jump into a more leadership role. And I did that. And we tried that during COVID, which was,
Amazing.
I don't know how we did it, but we were able to grow the company. And I think that was a really critical time for acting because I think that was really the final push to move to a more virtual experience,
Oh,
which love it or hate it, it's probably never going back in the
no,
room.
I know.
And there's some compromise with that. But in doing that, it created and democratized an accessibility of access to actors.
This is true.
And I
It,
think that's good. I think a smaller town or a smaller market actor has a real shot now in a more competitive landscape than they ever did. And I liked that. But I think the ultimate was when Kate and I, my wife, we had always wanted to. I'd really wanted to be an agent. I'd known Timon for many years and had interviewed him on our podcast and gotten to know him. And he's one of my heroes in the business.
do
And
you know Timon was a junior agent? He was the low man on the totem pole when I first came here. He was brand
oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. Yeah.
94, and
Yeah.
but yeah, he made his mark, and he did it right. Good guy.
What an amazing guy, and has been so helpful to me in learning. And I wanted to do it like Time, and I thought he was cool. I thought he had a lot of integrity. I thought he represented his clients. Like this was when I used to think about that was the guy. And I said, Kate said, well, let's do it. If we don't do it now, we're never going to do it. And that's like any entrepreneur. It's just kind of like, all right, let's jump
Now,
head first. Let's go. And so we did it. So we launched Hectic, and here we are almost 5 years later, which is wild.
So I'm curious. So I can see the preparation that led you up to where your skill set was perfect for VFS. And then obviously through VFS, you're going to rub shoulders with people in the industry.
Mhm.
So casting workbook, I get that too. But you said something, you said you always wanted to be an agent.
Yeah.
Okay, because okay, so when did that idea first pop into your head?
Did you ever remember the show Entourage?
Yeah, Bob Saget.
Right?
You
Of
you
course, yeah. He was amazing
you
on that
know
show.
he was my
I
acting
did
scene partner in Daryl's class.
I did know
We
that.
did a play together that actually nailed down his agent at the time that got then he launched. I mean, it was
Oh yeah. What a
he was the crazy he
God
was
rest his
so
soul. What a guy.
he was so much more a wonderful human being than what he was ever portrayed on film. It was really interesting,
Full House was not representative, I think, of that
and
guy.
neither was Funniest
Yeah.
Home Videos.
No, no, no. But he had a wicked sense of humor. And his on that show, the character of Ari was the super agent that Jeremy Piven played and won several Emmys for, I think, was based on a real agent, Ari Emanuel. I had met Ari Emanuel when I was living in when I was in Los Angeles, and I was working as the ECD at T-Mobile.
Oh wow.
And he came in and sat in on a meeting. We were looking to bring one of his clients at WME into a campaign we were doing, and we were pitching it. So I got to he wouldn't remember me. It's a meeting I will never forget.
Gotcha.
It was transformative for me because it was, once again, it was one of these burst points where I thought, what a cool job. What a cool guy. Um, and was super interesting and engaged, and very, very charismatic and intelligent, and talked about the industry in a way that you couldn't help but want to, you know, there's behind the camera, there's in front of the camera, and then there's, all around the periphery of the
Yeah.
camera and the business side. And that's where he was. And that was just really exciting to me. I loved storytelling, and I loved being around people being a producer, being an agent, whatever you got to do to make it happen. Those are the guys who are, make building it and making it go. And that was very exciting to me. So I had never forgotten that. And I think it just had stayed with me. But you kind of think, I guess maybe I had to go to law school. I don't know. You think that, and then as you learn more about it, you realize there's no school for this.
No.
There's a couple more traditional ways that I think you become an assistant, or you
Or
work
an
your way through it.
associate, or yeah,
But you just gotta want to do it. And and I admired actors. I was not a performer, as we said, but I was around so many of them, and I really love them and what they do, and representing them is a real joy for me, and for Kate too. She's an amazing agent, and she feels the same way.
Well, that's wonderful. I get a sense that you love the business.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a rush for us. We have a few catchphrases in our house whenever a client books something. And actually, I was saving this because I knew you and I were going to be sitting down on your podcast today,
What?
and I wanted to let you know that you booked.
Oh my God.
I've been holding on to that for almost 3 days now, which I normally wake my clients up in the middle of the night to tell them the exciting news. But you booked, my man. Congrats.
Jeez Louise.
And what a role that Michael has booked for, and what an exciting thing. And the director, they're so, I had a great chat with all of them, and so that's the part of the job that I love, and I never get to have that on camera with a client ever. Usually it's like a phone call, and I go, "Where are you right now?
God.
Guess what? You booked." So we've got a lot of fun in our house. My kids do a dance whenever a client does it, and they what a business, and what for all the work that everyone goes through, and the how close we often get, but we don't quite get it. What a great thing. So yeah, man, congrats. You
Oh my
booked.
God. Thank you.
What a feature it's going to be. To what a great role.
I okay. we're going to have a talk off
Of
camera
course we
because
will.
I
Yeah.
have a story,
Yeah.
but I don't want to
Yeah.
interrupt
But
you.
yeah,
But
congrats.
thank you
You
very
booked, my
much.
man.
Well, thank you very
Yeah.
much. So, oops, there goes gravity back to reality.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's fun to throw the interviewer off. Normally I'm doing it the other way. I love this.
my
Yeah.
kid's going to hate this
Yeah.
because he edits. One of the reasons that I wanted to have you on this podcast is I consider you maybe the most innovative and groundbreaking agent
Oh wow.
I've ever run across, and I've been in this business 44 years. Your approach to actors and how you view the necessity for them being informed about the business, to me is unique because I frankly see most agents, and it's not because of any malicious thing, but they actually keep their actors kind of in the dark, and
Yeah.
they maybe they kind of like that because it gives them that position of being above or whatever. I don't know. I have my
Yeah.
own
I do
thing.
too. I think it's because truly, I agree with you. I don't think it's an intentional oversight.
No,
I think they learned it from someone who learned it from someone, and it's just kind of always been this way.
yeah.
And in this essential but unnecessary pursuit to show value to your clients, they intuitively do the opposite of what I think is to the benefit of the client, which is um, they mystify the process.
Bull's ear.
And
Yeah.
so our whole philosophy is we demystify it. I love my clients and exactly what I do, how I do it. I share my clients, my calendar. I help them understand my negotiating process before I go in for a booking and let them know I'm going to try this. What do you think? I like to very much include them so that it's not that they'll go, oh, this is all there is to it. I could do this. If my clients ever feel like that, I think I'm doing a good job, right? Anyone can do it. What you can't replicate is a passion and love for the business.
No.
But yeah, it's not that it's a difficult job. It's that you've got to be really passionate about it. And I think that really shines through when you're talking and working with casting, when you're working with producers. And for my clients to be smarter actors, nothing bad happens when they are tuned into, the economic ecosystem of what's going on in our business.
I, as you know, interview prospective students for
Hmm.
my program.
Smart, very smart.
Well, because I am on a mission to, if I have to do it one actor at a time, educate them about the market they're in because I'm finding A, they're hungry for it. B, they don't know almost anything about the whole show business thing. And C, I just feel it's something that, you as an agent are the only other one I know that's trying to fill in the gap. Um,
Mm.
I I gotta also say um, that that philosophy was this something that you developed or that you brought day one or that when you thought about being an agent you what you saw from other agents they weren't doing how did you
Yeah.
come to this approach?
It's because I'm an advertiser and a marketing guy at heart.
Okay.
And so when you have spent the bulk of your career in that landscape, you learn really quickly about brand building and differentiation and a value proposition for your customer that allows you to create campaigns that set your
You were
product apart.
Gotcha.
Because that's what marketing is about, beating your competition and building your business and getting clients and keeping your clients and all of that. So there's a lot of stuff that carries over. And when Kate and I launched, we took almost probably half of a year before we even decided to sign a single client. And we really investigated and did a very thorough market analysis because, again, we had no traditional education or a playbook on how to be an agent to fall back on.
Right.
So we had to look at it and go, okay, well, what do agents think? So we talked to every agent, and we knew and really pulled from them what they loved about the job, what they didn't like about the job, what was working in their agency, what was. And then we just talked to so many actors. Why are you with your agent? Why'd you leave your agent? What are you looking for in an agent? Um, what's working and not working? And you started to hear the same things over and over.
Yep.
And eventually what you had was a really clear picture that this is an industry that has not been disrupted maybe ever, truly. You could argue the birth of the manager and the agent in the US, and that differentiation was definitely a transitional turning point in the industry. But at the end of the day, you're repping artists, and there wasn't much there. So we saw an opportunity to do things different in the way we engage with our clients and the relationship that we build with them, primarily the feedback that we're able to give them, and how we go about getting it. And I had such a uh, I would argue I probably am the only agent who had the experience. I ran casting workbook for a couple of years,
I'm aware.
so you get to know casting
Very
really well,
well.
and you understand how they run their business and what their push points are and what their tension and struggles and challenges are. And once you have an understanding of how casting works, you realize really quickly you're not just representing an actor. You are a service provider to casting too.
Oh,
And there's a
absolutely.
lot of things you can do if you're a good agent and if you want to be an effective agent at really providing that service solution for casting. And so I think those experiences allowed Kate and I to do that in a way that probably I would say, I would humbly say no other agent can,
No,
until you've been able to run a company on the other side and work for the casting directors. You never quite know their business.
it's unique in my experience. And now that you mention it, you actually do, in my mind, function more as a manager than an agent.
Yeah,
You
probably.
really
Yeah,
do.
I
You
think
have
so.
you have so much more of a hands-on interest in you. I imagine most of your clients feel the same way, that you are personally involved in their career,
Very.
and it's a big deal,
I
believe
mean,
me.
Kate's working today on styling a whole photo shoot for a client where most actors go and just get their headshots. Kate will be very involved because, we understand that that little thumbnail photo is not just you looking into the camera and
No,
smiling now. It's
no.
not a yearbook photo. It's not a passport photo.
Mm-mm.
It is an opportunity for casting to, before they've even looked at a tape, make a quick, impulsive, instinctive decision. So we've got to look at our client's skin tone and like what kind of backdrops are going to work and what isn't. When you know and you understand that casting looks at 1,000 photos a day or more, you very quickly become skilled at which color. And again, this is the marketer in me,
Oh
right?
yeah,
And Kate's the same way. Our agents are all the same way here that think that way. We are marketing our clients, and
amazing.
nothing that you don't leave anything to chance. So that was that kind of stuff that I think just helped us differentiate. And some things we do just like every agent that does it well. You can't reinvent the wheel, but you can absolutely create a completely different experience for your client from the ground up. And
Well,
that's what we're trying to do all the time.
well, so far that's been my experience
Oh,
with you as well. No,
that means a lot to me.
well, it's so far so good.
And you booked.
And I booked.
Yeah, right.
So you mentioned something earlier, and you said what do you like about the business? What don't you like? What do you like about the business most? And you mentioned one thing, and that
Being an agent.
yeah, and you mentioned one thing is that you tell the client that he booked. That's always the point of
That's
truth.
the second best part.
Oh, what's the first?
The first is when I get the call that you booked,
Got it.
because there's a really satisfying feeling. I know how hard an agent works to even get an audition off the ground for a client. And sometimes, we rarely tell our clients how close they almost didn't get it either. Because who cares once you've booked? But there's a real battle sometimes with casting who is at their max. They've looked at so many, or they think they're going in one direction with a certain type of client. And if you can convince them to hang on, I want you to give, my client here a look or a second look, or I won't name any names, but I had a client very recently in the last 6 months bomb his in-person audition callback. So he did an incredible tape. I had convinced this director in the US to take a look at him. They said, okay, casting, I knew he was great. I worked with him before, so he trusted me. I said, you gotta take a look at this guy. He's really talented. I really believe in him. And he did a great tape. And then they liked it and they said, we want to fly him in for a callback in person. Okay, great. And he bombed it. And I don't think he did anything to, maybe he was overthinking. Who knows? He wasn't even that jet lagged. It just sometimes, the callback doesn't necessarily go better than the tape. This can happen. Most of the time, you're hooped Well, I fought for them to do it again, you know? So this is where your agent gets in there and you got to get a bit scrappy. You got him on a bad day, you know? Maybe his dog died or he was whatever. Well, you know, what I do whatever I got to do as an agent to go, hang on, don't close that door just yet.
Give him a retake.
Let's do one more. You loved this take. We talked about this. We all agreed. I just think he got him on the right. What did he? I don't think he had the sides and the notice to. You know, he needs a day or two to warm up. This is what he is. But what you get on set is unbelievable. He's, you know. So this is me fighting and marketing for this client. They agreed reluctantly to give it another shot. And anyway,
He got it.
he booked the lead.
Oh, that's
he booked the lead.
That's
He booked the lead in this film, and it'll be coming out later this year. And I'm really stoked about it. And that is very much his success and his job well done. But as an agent, how satisfying is that for when Kate and I are able to go, I told you, and that is a great moment because so often, you know, and that's why the other thing we always do is we don't sign anyone we're not excited about.
Oh, I'm sure.
And I'm certain many agents do that. Maybe they have to do it or it's just their strategy and it's worked for them so far.
Yeah.
And if that actor takes off and it works and it's great. But in our situation, it's like, I won't fight as hard as I did if I don't believe.
Yeah.
And so that's...
You got to believe it just like we do.
That's
you
right.
Got to believe it or they ain't good.
I remember when you went in and read for this and we were like, we believed the minute we pitched you for the role, you were the guy for the role. And I do believe over time, if your agent is as locked in as you are as an actor for getting that role, those things, some people call it manifesting, some people call it the energy of the car. I think what ends up happening is that's the power of good sales. And you are pushing, going, this is the guy. And you have to have that confidence when you go, you're crazy if you don't book my client in this.
Yeah.
This is the guy. So I think we have that confidence because we believe it. We don't have to go, oh, you're right, and then better luck for them next time. No problem. Thanks for giving them a look. For us, it's like, what do you mean you're going with someone else? Are you on drugs?
Yeah.
My client is very good at this. Your audience deserves to see them in this role. I don't know who you're picking, but I think you're making a mistake. And you can say that if you believe it.
If you believe it.
Yeah.
Well, it's, I was a salesman in another career a long time ago. And I could never sell anything that I didn't believe in. But if I did believe it, then it was on. So that's fabulous. So getting the call, calling your client and telling them they booked, what other joy do you get from this?
I like to see it grow. I like for the first time, I'm not working for a huge Fortune 500 company or a $1 million startup. Yeah, Kate and I built it, and I'm really proud we're the only agency in North America with a board of advisors.
Wow.
We're the only one, which is shocking to me. But again, I think the business had just kind of run a certain way. No one thought to do that. And so I have some really intelligent people that weigh in and give us advice or help steer us the right way so that we're not just another agency, so that we're doing it different. I love that it's something that my son, who's going to be 18, he thinks he might want to be an entertainment lawyer. So...
How old's your kid?
He's 18.
He is not.
Yeah, he's about to graduate. He's about to graduate high school. Yeah, he's president of his high school, my son.
Wow.
Yeah, he's
not
really
a surprise.
He's wonderful. And but I like that he has watched his mom and dad build this, and he might have gone into politics or economics or whatever, and he still there's a part of him that goes, maybe I might want to be in entertainment. So I think if we could create a dynamic where you always hope, knock on wood, maybe you get to spend time with your kids, and that would be my dream. But I'll knock on wood. I won't jinx it yet. And kids change their mind.
Oh my gosh.
I would also say there's a ton of heartache with it.
Yeah.
It's scary. We go through what our clients go through.
Oh my.
We have months where you might have no bookings at all. You might have months where you've got hundreds.
Yeah.
It is unpredictable, and so even that unpredictability with that, which I think caused so much stress and tension for my clients. That's where we created the hectic AI index,
right? So
that it was more than just an agent telling you, "Oh, it's slow" or "it's busy." We've really taken AI in a positive way for the industry and created a unique algorithm that I now even share with other agents who ask for it.
I was just going to say, I have a note here that says, can we talk about the algorithm?
Sure.
This is your invention.
Yeah, HAI. Yeah.
That basically, in the way I'm doing it, I'm bad paraphrasing, but predicts the growth or the activity of the entertainment industry in Vancouver market.
Yeah, we take all these markers that are laying around in this incredibly right-brained creative industry that has a lot of left-brain economic markers to tell you the weather, how it's doing, when it's going to be busy, when it's going to be slow, why it's busy, why it's slow, when casting is going to be at peak, when they're going to be looking for new projects, and approachability of casting as an agent is always that's the gamble, right? When's the right time to push your client? You never want to hit them at their busiest when they're like, I can't look at any actors right
Yes.
now. Whereas, so we wanted to take all of that, and using AI, we created an algorithm that allows us to, we look at the strength of the Canadian dollar, the status of the union collective bargaining agreement negotiations, where are they at? Where is union satisfaction at? We look at the Trump factor. Is he threatening streamers again? Does that have an adverse impact on when productions will pause or halt potential productions in Canada and in the US, domestically or internationally? We look at the value of the stock of Netflix and all the big streamers. We take all and many other significant factors, and then through AI, we're able to create a scoring system that gives my clients a sense of, hey, before they've even called me to go, I haven't seen much lately, I can go, here's why. Or holy smokes, like I had 5 auditions in a day for one of my clients the other day. What's going on? Well, here's what we're seeing, right? So we've been able to do that, and we realized a lot of actors really care about that. Like, this is great.
Oh, yeah.
It's the weather. I haven't gotten to a point yet where I can necessarily change the weather, right? But I can anticipate it better. I can set expectations better for my clients. I can help them really manage what they're doing in their downtime or the slow periods, and how to be ready when we see a busy period coming right around the corner, and what are the things to have ready when that happens. And so it's allowed us to be much more effective in our reactionary strategy for clients, just by virtue of studying those things. So, and I never would have thought when we launched we would be using AI this way, right? Which I think is a swear word to a lot of creatives, and I understand why. But in our case, it's has a lot more to do with understanding the economics of our business.
It's yeah, well, you've approached it in a very different way. The old fallback for any agent when you ask, what's going on, because I've been there. I don't do it anymore, but I've been there, and young actors, or even not so young actors, you have an actual data-backed answer for them. You've gone into
Yeah,
this and you give them, other than it's slow now or whatever.
yeah. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
it's nothing I can do. But see, this is again this whole approach of how can I be more for my clients. It's unique to me. It's
we're
pretty
always
amazing.
looking for that, and you got the first. You can never be afraid to ask them. And we do. We'll run a survey every year with our clients, and they'll tell us what they think. And I'm shocked more agents don't do that. I
So am
think
I.
because we get feedback too, and we are not perfect, and so you have to approach it with, any business would work this way if they were trying to retain or acquire new customers, and I've got to be the same way with my clients. So I can't be afraid to hear where they want me to be better or where they want me to be more focused, and in that process, I think that trust and that partnership is really strengthened, and that's what I love about this is we are a partnership with all my clients, and they feel
It's
that.
amazing you said
Yeah.
that word, because that's how I look at it. I mean, I've had the experience of going into an agent's office. I built my resume in LA
Hmm.
and seeing this much dust on my photos and realizing I was with the wrong. I mean, I've had so many bad experiences, and there's bad and good in any business, as you
Sure.
know.
Yeah.
But I have not experienced the hands-on and the intelligence and the drive and the research. You've really done a different job
I
here.
really
Uh,
appreciate that. You
so
saying that.
I mean, I don't throw it around, but you earned it. Okay, so I wanna get into the weeds in a little bit for the actors that are hopefully watching. Um, but from an actor standpoint, okay, if the ways they approach an agent,
Yeah.
okay, if they're new, would you just rather have them own that rather than try to put something together and put crap on their resume or whatever.
Totally. What a great question. I do a lecture for most of the schools in Canada. At some point or another, every 6 or 7 months, I'll get asked to jump on a Zoom, and I do this talk called the 6 critical mistakes every actor makes when they graduate. And I walk them through the do's and don'ts so that I look at, and when I say I can tell you any agent out there would agree. We probably, as agents, we see 50 to 100 actors a month, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, there's about 1,000 actors in Canada for every agent. So great time to be an agent. It's competitive for an actor. So what are you doing to be appealing? The high level of it is really simple and straightforward. Before you even push send on that email, do everything in your power to minimize the work that an agent will have to do to see you at your best. So don't send me a WeTransfer file with a 4 GB video that I'm either going to have to figure out while I'm on my phone. And by the way, we're on our phone all the time.
Sure.
This is my primary computer, right?
Yep.
I'm on this all the time.
Yep.
Or I'm going to have to wait till I get to the office and and download it. And now I've got 4 gigs. Imagine 50 actors a month. That means I got to watch it quick, then I got to clean it out, right? I mean, this is all we're doing is looking at tape. And it's just chewing up memory. We're constantly buying memory. Wow. The really savvy actors send it to me in an unlisted YouTube link. Oh. Very smart, because then I can just click and watch. Okay. And the really, really savvy actors, I tell them, do this. Don't worry about a demo reel. Here's the problem with a demo reel. Unless you really booked some stuff, and I'm watching you on a show or a film that I might know or whatever, and I'm seeing you do your thing there. It's never, I would say 90% of the time, a good demo reel.
Nope.
And you are now at the mercy of whatever I'm watching you, the actor, do in the scene, and the other actors around you. Now, if the other actors around you in the scene are not very strong, which is often the case, you're only as fast as the weakest performer, running in this scene with you.
Yeah.
So you will not, unbeknownst to these new actors, they don't realize they're being dragged down by a poor performer, reading across from them or acting across from them. So what I say is just send some self-tape. Send me self-tape. I want to see what casting is going to see.
Yeah.
If you want to do a commercial for Pepsi, sure, whatever. But pick a scene, something contemporary, something I might know. Don't try to do an impression of that actor. Do your version of the scene. And then I'm looking for the quality of your self-tape. I'm looking at your home setup, which shows me how professional and how tuned in you are to the industry.
Wow.
Right? The less I have to coach you to how to do a standard everyday self-tape, the better. I'm looking for how you're doing with the reader. Are you just volleying the lines back and forth? Or are you reacting in real time with them and in character? We're looking for all that. Kate's very good at it. She catches little things. If I can get 2 self-tapes, great. If I can get 3, even better. Have them ready to go. Here's 3 recent self-tape, because I want to know what you look like today.
Yes.
Make sure your headshots are good. Make sure they look like you, right? Right? So that when I go, great headshots, and they sit there and go, who is
this? Yeah.
You would be surprised.
Oh, no, I wouldn't.
You would, you wouldn't. So I think some of those basic ones are critical. The resume, I assume you haven't done anything if you're new. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But listen, if you're good, you're good.
Yep. It'll jump off.
Like I've got clients who booked leads in movies, and hadn't done anything before. Good is good.
Yep.
And I also am always looking for actors. I think it's almost a requirement for us now, to the point where we write it into our contracts. You got to be in class.
Yep.
It's so critical. When I see an actor who's just graduated, I go, and where are you taking class?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Right? You wouldn't talk about trying to be an Olympian and not be in the gym every day.
Well, in LA, that's like, I tell actors all the time, if you're lucky enough to get a meeting with an agent, the first question they ask is who you're studying with.
That's right.
And if you say, well, I'm not currently in class, the interview's over.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to be able to afford it. I don't care if you work at Starbucks or you're at a call center. No one cares. But you got to afford to be able to get some of these basics bolted down.
I paid my acting classes before I paid my rent. If you want it, you'll find it,
Well, and you get it. So I think those are the easy things where I tell an actor just be funny and be quick in your email, because I got to look at 300 emails today.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the weirdest way you've ever been approached by an actor?
Is this a PG podcast?
No.
Okay. Okay. I mean, Kate and I have gotten some strange
Oh, I can't imagine.
invites. Kate and I have been invited to,
Yeah.
to represent an actor who thought they might entice us with other invitations.
No.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
No.
Yeah, we've had people, actors, write a song and be very funny or creative, but maybe it fell short and they felt like they had to, do a whole scene. I We've had some weird.
That's why I
Yeah,
asked.
yeah, yeah. But most of the time, it's not usually that. Most of the time, it's just actors who are. Um, I'll tell you, we always respond to a client, whether we're looking to grow or not, and I always get feedback from that actor going, "Holy cow, I can't believe you even responded."
Yeah,
And they're shocked. So I know it's hard out there. So I think we try to just approach it with humanity and a real love for what they are doing, and we know the struggle is to be seen and try to be discovered. Is like it begins first with getting an agent. It's
absolutely.
it's not an easy thing. So don't give up. And we always look at a tape and we always give it a full look. And I can't speak for other agents, but we do that. And so you just have to know that you're going to be looking at tape and don't be too weird.
Yeah,
Just be
be
you.
you.
Be you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a class approach. What drives you crazy about being an agent? Not that it's necessarily bad, but it just makes you go sideways.
Yeah, I think Kate would say something different, but I think I think the headshots are very important.
Yeah.
And sometimes I get actors or clients even who will cut corners and they'll go shoot with a friend. And what ends up happening is if that friend has never really done that type of a photo,
Hmm.
you get these bizarre things that come back. The time cycle of a headshot is, a week to book it, 3 weeks out. Then you got to pick, and then you got to get them edited. You could be looking at them 5, 6 weeks
Takes a
before you
while.
even get something that I can redistribute and showcase to casting. So it gets because you could be really excited by an actor, and if their headshots are not exciting and the care and how they look, I always love the way you take what you wear very seriously.
Mm.
And no joke, it sets the tone for the tape they're going to see and the actor they're going to meet on set and the performer they're going to want to work with again. And I think when actors show up in their my clients are really good because we really work with them and coach them. But whenever I see an actor who's just, they're doing a great performance, but they haven't lit themselves the right way, or they're not dressed properly, they haven't done their makeup, guys too, especially,
Mm.
right? They haven't, toweled off and just tried to reduce their shine. Little things like that, those little details, I think ultimately impact casting's first impression of you.
They love my
So,
shoes in this last one.
oh yeah, but I mean, you always look good. I know if I'm meeting you for coffee, someone's going to think we're going to the presidential ball.
Well, be the change you want to see in the world.
Sure. Yeah. So I think those little things, but nothing. I mean, I love the job. I think we always tell our clients, let it go when you don't book.
Yep.
But I'll tell you, we hold it too.
Do
We
you?
we
Do you really?
Yeah. I have not. Every agent that I have ever learned from and who has helped me along the way and taught me, one of the first things they say is just let it go. And I have not learned to do that. I care I wanted this role for you as much as you did, maybe more. And Kate's very similar. And I think people, oh, you're setting yourself up. You're going to be bummed because 90% of the time
You don't.
you can't. It's impossible to.
I know.
It's just not realistic. But I think we believe, and so when you believe and you're invested, I don't ask me 20 years from now. Maybe I'll feel differently, but.
Yeah, but not now.
No, no, especially when they get close, I
Oh
find
yeah.
myself going, they can do this.
Yeah.
And I can see them in this, and then you start to go back and in the middle of the night, I've done this. You start looking at what casting has done before and this director, and you're going comparing that tape to other projects. And yeah, he's right. He's got this. He's doing it right. You
Perfect.
start walking yourself through it, and I'm sure my clients do the same thing.
Yeah.
I never tell them that, so we may have to edit this part out. But I'd hate for them to think I want it
No.
just as bad, right?
No, you should. I think that's
Yeah.
if most actors knew that about their agents, they wouldn't have any doubts about, that they're with the right person because sometimes it's the exact opposite is they don't think they're in there fighting for them the way they want them to.
Yeah, yeah.
What changes do you see coming in the Vancouver marketplace? Let's say year, 1 to 3 years from now? If you've looked that far ahead.
Yeah, oh, always. We were always preparing for 2 years out. I think you are going to continue to see the cultural diversity building in terms of the casting opportunities. What I mean by that is we saw maybe around COVID a marker there, maybe a bit before. We were seeing much more interest in cultural diverse characters, right? Non-white, right? I think that wasn't just a trend as a response to a marketplace that were, they're saying, hey, we've got to be diverse. Let's do the right thing. Now I think they're going, wow, you can have an accent. You can have a British actor playing a American or Canadian character, and that's okay. You can have someone who looks Portuguese or who looks Persian, being the head cheerleader in the high school scene, and that doesn't have to be unusual anymore. I think because the writing is getting more that way. So I think we're seeing not an absence of the traditionally white characters anymore. I just think there's more stuff where it can be anything and anyone.
Yep.
You're going to see a lot more actors with visible disabilities, physical, mental, deaf actors. I'm seeing them now in roles that they're just like, hey, what if this character was deaf? Or what if this character was, visually impaired or whatever it might be, physically impaired? How could that work? I did not think I would see this much of it like we do. So I think that's good news for the diaspora of actors out there. I think you're going to see verticals. Asian funded verticals are the most explosive market in North America right now by the millions of viewers. I didn't think 3 years ago they were going to last, and they are exploding. I think very serious actors are going to begin to dip their toe in them. A lot like soap operas.
Yep.
Remember James Franco?
Yes.
Did
of course.
was it All My Children? I think maybe
He did.
Yeah.
Well, there are a lot of actors who had.
And Sad or Young and the Restless, but he dipped his toe and did it for fun, and it was a wake up call to everyone that soaps have been here a long time.
Yeah.
And they're not going anywhere. And these verticals are really just at the early part of it. I think they wanted to go there early pre-COVID, and then COVID brought back the desire for binging and long form.
Right.
And now that trend marker has identified itself again, that we're back to normal. You're going to see verticals of all kinds really sweeping and taking over. I think you're going to see in 2 or 3 years a real increase in smaller funded indie projects that are really well shot, where actors are really taking agency of their own creative IP and not waiting for their big moment, and they're creating their own moments. There's just too many great platforms to watch.
Well, the technology also has just gone crazy.
You can film a Hollywood film with this thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unquestioned. Steven Soderbergh has done a couple.
Yeah, no, I'm aware.
So I think you're going to see that, and I think you're going to see a real increase in the types of. I think TV is going to dominate. I think non-union is going to continue to build and be at par with union projects. I think the spirit of that indie lower finance project, actors are not afraid of them. It doesn't necessarily mean that the quality of the set or the crew or the acting is any less, but in fact they are dependent on being able to. They have less money. There's less producers doling it out because of the risk. So they're spreading it around, and their actors are taking it on in different ways. So I'm negotiating all kinds of different contracts for my clients now.
Wow.
That are really in service to smaller funded projects that they want to get off the ground, that are going to really show them off for future projects. So I see that we're not afraid to take risks in smaller funded projects, and that's going to be even bigger 3 years from now.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fabulous.
Yeah.
All right. Here's a big one for me. What do you expect an actor to be doing to hold up their end of the partnership?
Kate and I always say, you got to want it more than we want it. As long as you want it more than we want it for you, we're going to do really great work together, and you've got a real shot. But I think every actor, what I mean by that is they have to really assess every year. You got to look in the mirror and go, do I still want this? It's hard. It's hard.
Preach, brother.
The acting, being a good actor alone, learning how to act is difficult. But like the exercise of waking up every day and going, I still believe, and I'm still going to fight for this, and I can do this. And every year that gets a little bit harder as as it no doubt will for anyone if they haven't made it yet. And for most actors, that's the reality.
Yep.
You're booking parts here and there on things. You know, the average actor is booking one. North American average was 1.5 projects a year with 5 callbacks a year. And that's what they're defining as the working actor,
Wow.
right? So it's hard. So I think we ask of them, you know, want it more than we do. And if you ever doubt that, take some time off. You know, we take their mental health really seriously.
Oh, wow.
Body image, mental health, all those things take a toll on my clients. And so we check in with them regularly on that and make sure that I find my most successful clients are side hustling something else that allows them to afford their lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
and acting doesn't define them to the point where they drive themselves crazy.
Yeah.
And those are the ones who are booking great projects.
Yeah.
It always ends up being like that. So I really encourage my clients to diversify in the stuff you do, and if you want to write too. I think as much as you can find joy and gratification as being an actor, find those other channels, because it will be reflected in your tape and you'll want to keep doing it. But if you start to get that call and the agent says, we got you this audition, and you're like, I'm never gonna book this.
Oh, wow.
If you don't believe it in yourself,
Guess what?
the casting won't be
Comes
convinced.
across.
Yeah,
It does.
yeah.
No, I
I've seen
maintain.
it happen. Sometimes with new actors where it hasn't happened quick enough for them.
Yeah.
And sometimes with actors who've been doing it for 10, 15, 20 years. And I get it. So that's why we just keep that conversation always open, and it's always a safe space for my clients to check in and share that with us.
Fabulous. Okay. Um, what do you think, what do you see as the biggest problems in the Vancouver market? I have my own particular take on this, but I'd like to hear yours.
I'm curious about yours too. Tell me what you think yours
I
are.
say this all the time. I said that the good news in the Vancouver market is there's a lot of work up here for a small market. There's only 8,800 members of the union and maybe only 30,000 actors Canada-wide in the union. And there's 1,300,000 of them in LA. So the good news is there's a lot of work up here. The bad news in Vancouver is there's a lot of work up here.
Yeah.
Because we know, you know more, but I know 5 actors that are working on set today. Okay.
Yeah.
And every actor, oh, my buddy's working, so it's easy, right?
Yeah.
So I just, I get, I'll go to this class and I'll go to an audition class, and man, I've got my career, and they don't know. And the ones that are at least curious about and hungry, that I said earlier, for knowledge about the market are the ones that are going to survive. The ones that are delusional. I mean, I've actually it's only happened once, but there's others that I think probably approached with the same way, as that they're not really interested in learning how to be an actor. They just want to be a movie star.
Yeah.
Well, I can't make you a movie star,
No.
but I can make you a better actor if you're willing to do the work. So that's what I see. And I'm not sure that it doesn't exist in the other markets, but in the other markets, LA and New York, it's so competitive that you have to be on fire for what you're doing, and you have to study, and you have to be better. Here, that has not clicked in. And I think one of the main reasons is there's not a lot of agents like you that are putting it in the contract. You need to be in class. If every agent in this town did that, I think it would change overnight.
Yeah, or pretty damn quick.
Yeah.
I think I agree with everything you just said, and I would add to it, I think I don't worry about Vancouver. Toronto is hot right now.
Really?
Very hot. Yeah, it's been great. By contrast to Vancouver, Montreal has been very tricky and continues to be a really, if I think it's shrinking. There's a couple reasons for that, but ultimately, the biggest thing that I truly lose sleep over is Donald Trump. And not to get political, but I don't care. I don't care. He is the biggest threat to the vitality of this industry, both in the US and here in Canada, that has ever been seen. This is a tsunami of problems that is just coming towards us, and it is all directed and because of him. Every time he threatens to tariff the streamers or non-domestically filmed film, what a moron. By the way, you can't tariff that. It doesn't cross a border. You'd need to lobby and change the definition with the World Trade Organization. And I'm sure someone has told him this, but he doesn't even care about that. He's just bluster. But those blustery, idiotic bullshit words have
Cause
a
problem.
real big impact on how quickly a producer is prepared to. It's gambling on the best of days for a producer.
Yep.
But now you got this moron who will do it, who says he's going to double or triple the price of it, tariff something that he can't. And a producer's going, hang on, don't book that studio yet. Hang on. Or let's just put this off till maybe after midterms or till the next election. So the faster we get him out at midterms,
the
better, and gone forever. And never, if you ever, America, if you're watching, don't elect someone who wants to be like him, who wants to tariff his way to non-economic success, because it impacts us, right? Prem was doing such a great job at Creative BC, and there's so many smart people working here in BC and in other provinces to create tax incentives and create a more vibrant, thriving community. And in a single swoop, a guy like that can claim a tariff, which is likely unenforceable, but he'll do it.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. So I lose sleep over that. We watch it every day. And we've even factored in our HAI index. We have an entire component called the Trump factor. And that's how temperamental and stupid he's being on any given day. And if today's the day he's talking about it, because if he's talking about it, there's probably 30 to 60 days that I will see of slowdown in the amount of breakdowns and productions that come to our table where our clients have an opportunity. No joke.
Well, this is his whole thing. He wants to bring manufacturing and industry back, and the investors that are talking about doing that are saying the same thing. Well, we're not going to build a facility there. So I have a feeling that bill is going to come due a lot sooner.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, oh my God, just please build your
get them out of there.
Yeah, build your center and focus on that and leave us alone.
That's right.
What would you do if you, by the way, that's my crack too in the morning. The first thing I do is open up the phone and hit the news, and I'm going, put down the phone, put down the crack pipe. I can't help it. No. What would you do different if you had to do it all over again?
As an agent?
As
launching an agency?
Yeah, let's focus on that.
I think maybe we would have taken, I like to look ahead. I consider myself someone who tries to be futurist in my long view. Kate's the same way. I don't think we reacted quickly enough. And a lot of people tell us we're a very forward-looking agency, but I don't think we were looking seriously enough at AI and its impact. Creatively, there are challenges with it, which we want to protect our industry from, like anyone. But it brings opportunities. It's impacting voice actors in a huge negative way. It's reducing the amount of work available to the voice actor.
Really?
Absolutely. There's nothing that I think we can really do about that. So if I was going back, I would have anticipated where I thought AI was going to help things in our business more and where it was going to hurt things more. And I would have focused less on those things, right? It's here. It's not going away. It's not a bad thing, but you got to understand it. And yeah, there will it replace actors? No, I don't believe that at all.
No,
I truly don't. I'm not worried about that. I don't think it can write an episode of The Sopranos or Industry or any of these incredible shows on TV right now or that ever before. Can it synthesize my voice and your voice convincingly with my or your permission? Yep. Yeah. And so I think the voice actor is probably going to be the most significant casualty of all this. Maybe the only real one in my view. Some agents feel different. Some people in the business feel different. I think it's helping bolster animators and animated production and special effects. All it's doing is it's bringing the cost down. And when you bring the cost down, you allow for more to get made.
Sure.
And that's good for everybody.
For everyone.
Yeah. So I don't see it as a bad thing. So I think I would have gotten much more serious about understanding it. I think we saw signs of it when we launched, and I don't know. That's maybe the only thing. I try not to look back too much and go, "What did we do wrong?"
Don't look in the rear view. Look at through the windshield.
I've done a good job of creating a relationship with our clients. We continue to want it to be more connected. Yeah, I'll tell you. Here's what I went into. We moved everything to a WhatsApp platform.
Yes.
with our clients. We did that in our second year. I would have done that right out of the gate. I find email so impersonal, and I find it, especially in my line of work where I get hundreds and hundreds
Oh, I
a
can
day.
imagine. Yeah.
It didn't allow me to, and I have, more than 100 clients. So how do I create a relationship with them that's meaningful and efficient and effective, not on email?
Better way to communicate.
Yeah, when you're trying, there's only so many hours in a day, and email was, I would have moved to the WhatsApp quicker, but we reacted quickly to that when we saw that as being an opportunity. So I think we're pretty responsive, but the real trick is not being afraid to ask your clients, how are we doing? And I always ask them after our first session, which is, what do you need from me? So you're with an agent that you think is doing a great job. Tell me what you need. So
See,
you gotta ask.
that whole approach is so different. I mean, it's just
Isn't
amazing.
that weird?
I've been in this business a long time, almost half a century, and I've never experienced anything like this. This is
Oh,
really
wow.
incredible. And along with that, you do, is it a monthly thing you do where you meet with all your clients on Zoom?
Yeah, we do regular, we check in with them in their first 90. We review their sub reports regularly. We go through the metrics. We look at their self-tape ratio, their volume of submissions. Now we used to do it at a rhythm, and now it's almost just on demand whenever a client wants to do it. Because I think for them, the more time that goes by, the more data we're able to accumulate and help them see what's going on with them.
Yep.
So what began as a really fixed point in time has now become, whatever you want, and let us know. And we've embraced that approach, and they seem to really like that. And we do, interviews, and we try to create sessions and seminars for them online. And
That's what I was talking about more when you get everybody
yeah,
on the thing.
yeah.
You had,
But that's been hard because we're finding now too, when we started asking them, they loved that and they were getting value, but they didn't like it live because for, 25-30% of them, they couldn't make it.
oh, I
And
see.
they didn't want to miss it. So now they
Ah,
were like, we love it, tape it and send it out to us. So everything is now on demand. And there's an example of us. We were doing it one way because we thought it really differentiated us. And our clients, when we asked them,
said
imagine
this.
that,
Yeah.
they went, no, we rather this way. And even with our HAI index, we say to them, is this interesting? Is this helpful to you? Or are we just trying to throw
Stuff
reading?
at you.
And the feedback was, this is incredibly interesting, but give me more to it. Like, why do I care? Why is this help? Got it, right? So it really helped me communicate more clearly to them. We put them in chat groups with each other. We don't silo them. They're a part of, the Vancouver or the Toronto or the West or East Coast groups, so they can connect with each other. And we felt like that, creating that community virtually, it defeated the point of ever needing an office, because only so many clients can meet at this place at this time
Yep.
in this market, in this city. But virtually, we've been able to create an agency that feels really connected, really inclusive, and that just came from our clients telling us what they wanted.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, again, I've never been asked.
It's crazy.
Well,
I know.
yeah, I think so. And again, it goes back to your point of they learned from somebody that has been doing it this way, and this is why I see you as so innovative, which is why I'm here. So some little asides. Now, your kid is 18.
I have two boys.
Which one do you coach the rugby team?
I co Nobody cares about this.
Come on,
I
care.
coached Fox in high school. He's my oldest son, and my baby boy is Hawk, and I coach his football team.
Wow.
We love football in our family.
Yes.
He was born in Kansas City, so we're Chiefs fans.
Do you ever run into Blaine Anderson?
Blaine Noseworthy?
Blaine Anderson. He
Mm,
coaches football for his kid too.
I don't know which league.
Marshall is a quarterback. I'm not sure what league. I'll find out.
Yeah,
And I also noticed here that you're on the Harvard Business Review Advisory Council.
I am.
Okay, how'd that happen?
Just it's a really great group. Did you ever read Harvard Business Review?
No,
I mean, if you
that,
can't go
it's
to,
way too intellectual for me.
it's, believe it or not, it isn't. And if you can't go to Harvard, which many of us cannot,
Yes.
truly the second best thing is read HBR every month.
Really?
They're case studies that are so thoroughly researched and vetted and conclusive in their findings that whether you are an established corporation or a small business like like ours, an entrepreneurial venture like ours, there are things to learn from that will ultimately help you continue to hopefully make smart decisions that strengthen your company and your strategic direction. And I had been a fan of HBR for I read it all, most through my career, and I knew a couple teachers there, and in my time working in the corporate world, and I got asked to be on it. So there you go.
Wow.
Yeah. But it's
Well, this is
it's mostly I just I like and I don't like it. It's not. I'm certainly not a fellow.
But to be asked, I mean, you're unique in my experience. So
Yeah.
anyway, this has been wonderful.
Thank you for doing it. No one ever wants to talk to agents. I don't know how many people are going to be interested in it.
Well, I'll tell you, every actor that I know, I'm going to try to do on this podcast things that I would be interested in talking to. And I know in this marketplace, the actors that I've met are going to be very interested in what we had to say here. You are the most forward-thinking, innovative, creative person in the agent industry I've ever run into in my entire 44 years in the business, which is why I'm with you. And thank you for your time.
I love that you're with Hectic, and we are really proud to have you. And you were my friend and someone I really admired before you were my client.
Yes.
And so to have you finally here in the family is a big deal for us. And congrats, because you put. And I never get to do that ever like this on person. So now that if they're watching, it's like they get to see the joy that we get as agents when your client books a big role like that.
That's fabulous.
So I look forward to working with you, and thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.